the first time we recorded was my sophomore year. So maybe freshman year, so like 2009, 2010. And one of those songs, one of the first 3 songs I ever recorded ended up, it was a song called Memoirs, and it ended up being in a Workaholics episode. I'm longing for you. I'm longing for you. So yeah, Bye Bye Me was very like, it was like technical metal. It was like some of the most talented guys I've known that were like, they were some of my closest friends in high school, but it was definitely a high school band. It was pretty heavy. It was primarily me doing just like really heavy vocals and like screaming and all that stuff. And then around the time that band kind of started to fall apart, I met my friends Brandon and Nick, who came to me saying that they had these songs that they needed like a vocalist for and everything, and they said they really liked my like screams and all this stuff, and that it was gonna be like a little lighter, with like me also doing like spoken word stuff and kind of like with like flow, like I guess. So we started this band called After Our Animals, and it was really cool because all the people that really liked to Bye Bye Me continued to support After Our Animals, and we quickly kind of rose up in the scene and everything over the course of a couple years. And then After Our Animals broke up at the time, and then me and my buddy Jason, who played guitar in After Our Animals, we wanted to keep going, so we started this band called Monorail Central. And I said like the biggest thing about Monorail Central was like, I was like, I want to sing. Like I know I can't sing, but I want to sing in this. So I just practice and practice and practice and practice, and still wasn't that great in that band at singing. And kind of like with writing and like really like learning how to like actually sing and everything like that. And one of the guys who was in my first band, Bye Bye Me, came back to be in this band, Monorail, with us. And he's an incredible guitar player and super awesome singer. And like the whole time he's like, this is your band, you're going to sing it and everything. So, and then just because of kind of creative differences and like different members coming in and like butting heads, I ended up not being a part of that band anymore. And I was pretty bummed about that because like that was like my like project. Like I literally started that band with like a like, this is the sound I want, this is the style I want. And then after that was over, I was kind of I guess like in like a little slump. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do next. And I had put out a Lil Peep cover of me like singing, like my first thing, like full on singing, not like singing screaming, but just like full on singing. And I remember it was around the time like Nick was just joined N43, or had been working with N43, and he was like, if you write an EP like this is something that could be on N43. What's the man supposed to do when he can't shed a single tear? What am I supposed to feel when you become my greatest fear? I guess this is like for the first time in my music career, just me being like super transparent with like how I feel as a person and as an artist. My solo stuff now, it's more so just kind of like emotionally, like I'm just like for the first time really writing about like how I feel and like how like I'm kind of like really come to terms with the fact that I do suffer from things like depression and like manic episodes and everything. I think it's really good for me. I think it's good for me because I'm one of those like guys that like growing up and everything, like my parents, who were like the greatest, most supportive people in the world, would always try to like talk to me about how I'm feeling, and I'm not someone that does that. Like if I have even a confrontation with somebody, I have the hardest time like revisiting it with that person and like talking about it and everything. Like I can say sorry and I can admit, but like I want it to be over, like and everything. Or like if I have like a really bad depression sprout and everything, and like just kind of like act like really manic, I don't want to like touch on the subject again. So like with music, it's cool because I can kind of like put that into my songs, put that into my music, and like vent about it and be real. So I think in a way it's good. Sometimes like I'll be up really late writing, and I write best kind of when I'm having one of those episodes, I guess. So it definitely helps me from like having too many negative thoughts and everything. But then sometimes the next day I'll like re-listen to the song and be like, I was sad. But in a way it's good. I think it's definitely pretty good therapeutically for me. Maybe I'm to blame. Who knows? Maybe I should change. my daughter, she's pretty cool. Like, it's kind of hard to be like bummed out when I'm seeing this like giggling, smiling face. Being a dad's cool. Super intimidating. Like, especially like I would always make jokes like with my friends, like, I can't even take care of myself. I can't imagine taking care of a kid. But like, it kind of like, there's definitely some times where I feel like a little overwhelmed, especially like I feel like when you first like come home with the baby, like baby is so much more like dependent on mom and everything, and like I felt like for the longest time like I'm doing something wrong, like, you know, like well, I like there's almost like a disconnect, but then like she's been taking like the bottle and everything and like smiling and being aware of her surroundings, so it took a little bit, but like at first, like, you know, you want to say like right away like it's so easy, it's amazing, but at first it definitely was hard, especially kind of hard to get used to, like, you know, like I'm not number one now, like in my life now, she's gonna be number one for the rest of my life kind of a thing, but I love it. I think it's awesome. She's super cool, and it's been cool even just watching her grow like 3 months now. Like, I can't imagine what it's gonna be like for like 17 and a half years, you know, like, and then beyond that. So last night I was working on a new demo, and it's a little bit more, I guess, like hip-hop-y than like singing for like something I've been doing, and it's kind of like writing. I was kind of writing about like how I want her to reflect on like my music in the future, you know, like, I mean, who knows, maybe she'll like grow up and hate it, maybe she'll grow up and love it, like, I don't know, but just like kind of, especially like a lot of my songs are, I do have like, you know, like drug references and stuff like that, and like coping mechanism references, and I don't want like her to look back and think that like I'm like glorifying it, but I definitely want her to like realize like that was who, or like was who knows, like how I dealt with stuff and everything like that, but I don't want it to be like in a negative light. So sometimes when I'm writing, like I've definitely like toned back some of my stuff, just because like, but then I have to remind myself like I can't, like, I don't know, it's a little hard, like I definitely overthink things sometimes, especially with like, I don't know, I want her to think I'm cool, but I don't know. Like,
everyone said they missing the old me. None of y'all really got to even know me.
I'm kind of, especially with my demos and everything, like, I guess trying to like really redefine myself and like find myself as like a solo artist, because I mean, like, my 3 songs I've put out since my EP, I've been like, I mean, they're kind of similar. Like, Numb For You is pretty similar to like Leave Me Out of Your Head, but then Rebel's like in such a different direction. I guess I'm just kind of like trying to figure out like what I want Armon Hassan to be, and like, I don't know, that might change with every single time I release something, especially if I'm releasing EPs or singles, you know, like there's times where I want to incorporate some of like my more like melodic metalcore stuff in this stuff. I mean, like, Numb For You kind of has like the screams in it too and everything, like, or like the scream yelling, but like, I don't know, I guess I'm just kind of like really trying to figure out what the artist I want to be is, the style I want. I don't know, like, I'm just kind of trying to figure it out. So that's kind of like a one thing I can take out of like COVID and quarantine, is that like it's been a big time for me to reflect on myself as like a artist and somebody that has like a vision for something, and I'm just kind of trying to like hone in on that vision. Like, I can see it, and I'm like kind of like getting closer and closer, but I'm not there yet, and I'm hoping by the time like shows and everything start up, I kind of figure it out by then. So